You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not too complicated, too emotional, too ambitious, or too intimidating. You are simply someone who hasn't yet been loved by someone who knows how to love deeply. The problem was never that you were too intense. The problem was that they were too unavailable. The truth is, most people don't even know what real love looks like because they've only ever chased what they couldn't keep. They've mistaken inconsistency for chemistry and mixed anxiety with excitement. So when someone like you walks in, honest and open, with depth and presence, it scares them because you're not playing a game. You're being real, and real doesn't come with a safety net. Real requires them to show up, and not everyone is ready for that. You have spent too long trying to prove your worth to people who were never meant to hold your heart. People who wanted you only when it was convenient, people who needed your light but dimmed it when it got too bright for their shadows, and yet you kept showing up, thinking if you just gave more, they'd finally see your value. But value isn't proven, it's recognized, and if they couldn't see it, it's because they weren't capable, not because you weren't valuable. You have to stop watering dead plants. You have to stop apologizing for expecting effort, consistency, and care. That's not too much. That's the bare minimum, and the moment you start believing that, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop begging and start choosing. You stop waiting for someone to pick you and realize you were meant to pick yourself. It's not your job to convince someone to love you. Your only job is to love yourself so fully that their indecision becomes irrelevant. When someone doesn't choose you, it's not a rejection, it's redirection. The universe does not take love away to punish you, it clears your path to protect you. Sometimes the very thing breaking your heart is the same thing saving your life, because the wrong relationship will have you questioning your worth. The right one will remind you of it, and until that right connection arrives, you are still whole. You are still complete. You are not a half waiting to be made full. You are not a project waiting to be fixed. You are a masterpiece learning to stop shrinking for people who don't have the eyes to see you. The reason it hurts is because you were honest, because you cared, because you saw a future where they saw a phase. And that pain is real, but don't let it harden you. Don't let it teach you to close your heart. Learn the lesson, but keep the love, because love is your strength, not your weakness. It's not your ability to detach that makes you powerful. It's your ability to stay soft in a world that tries to make you hard. Let me remind you, you do not need to earn love through overgiving. You do not need to twist yourself into someone else's ideal just to be chosen. The right person will meet you where you are, not make you shrink to meet them. When you step into your worth, everything changes. You start showing up differently. Your standards rise. Your peace becomes your priority. And what doesn't align, it falls away. And that's not loss, it's alignment. You are allowed to walk away from anyone who makes you question your value. You are allowed to close doors without guilt, to raise your standards without apology, and to protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Emotional peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And the moment you stop negotiating your peace for someone else's comfort, you begin to reclaim your life. You can miss someone and still choose yourself. You can love someone and still walk away. You can grieve the future you imagined and still create one even more beautiful. Because the love you truly want, the kind that sees you, values you, grows with you, that kind of love will never require you to abandon yourself. Sometimes we stay in places that hurt because we're scared of the unknown. But the pain of staying stuck is always greater than the fear of moving forward. You don't need closure to heal. You don't need their validation to let go. Healing doesn't require their apology. It requires your decision. Decide that you are no longer available for half effort, for confusion, for emotional breadcrumbs. Decide that clarity, consistency, and care are your new baseline. Decide that your energy is sacred. And from this moment on, protect it like it's the most valuable currency you own, because it is. You've already tried shrinking yourself, softening your needs, lowering your standards. Did it work? Did they love you more? Or did they take more while giving less? Stop auditioning for a role you were born to own. You don't need to become less to be loved more. You need to become more of who you are and trust that the right people will rise to meet you there. Start romanticizing your own life. Take yourself out. Speak kindly to yourself. Make your peace louder than your pain. And when that inner voice tries to convince you to go back, remind it that you are no longer settling for survival. You are choosing thriving. You are no longer choosing potential. You are choosing partnership. You are no longer choosing confusion. You are choosing clarity. You are no longer choosing longing. You are choosing alignment. Every time you raise your standards, you create space for what's real. Every time you walk away from what hurts, you walk toward what heals. Every time you choose yourself, the world mirrors that back to you in ways you can't even imagine yet. Because you are magnetic when you are in your power, and the person who's meant for you, they won't be intimidated by it. They'll be inspired by it. They'll match it. They'll add to it. And they'll make you feel safe in a way that chaos never could. It's time to stop explaining your worth to people who benefit from you doubting it. It's time to stop hoping someone will finally see what's been obvious all along. You are the prize, and when you remember that, everything else aligns. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop settling and start receiving. You stop trying to be chosen and start choosing yourself. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not hard to love. You are becoming, and anyone who cannot meet you at your becoming is not meant to come with you. You don't need everyone to love you. You just need one person to meet you with the same depth, the same effort, the same intentionality. One person who doesn't make you feel like you're too much. One person who doesn't play games. One person who doesn't just tell you you're enough, but shows it with their consistency. That person starts with you. Because when you hold your boundaries, when you honor your intuition, when you stop chasing closure from people who gave you chaos, you begin to feel the difference between attention and affection, between chemistry and connection, between being seen and being understood. And the moment you feel that difference, you stop accepting less. It takes courage to walk away from someone you love. It takes strength to break your own heart for your own peace. But the pain you feel leaving is the price of the peace you're walking toward. It's the toll you pay for a life that finally reflects your worth. That's not weakness, that's evolution, and no one evolves by staying in spaces that shrink them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them judge your silence. Let them question your growth. You don't owe explanations to people who never cared to understand you in the first place. You don't owe comfort to those who only showed up when it was easy. The people who belong in your life won't need to be convinced to treat you right. They will simply do it, not because you asked, but because it's who they are. And until that kind of love finds you, let your solitude be your strength, not your suffering. Let your peace be your proof that you no longer tolerate what used to break you. Because the moment you raise your energy, the universe responds in kind. Your standards are a signal. Your boundaries are a broadcast. They tell the world what you will and will not accept, and the world listens. It's okay to miss them. It's okay to cry. It's okay to grieve the story you thought you were writing, but don't stay stuck in a chapter that was never yours to finish. You're allowed to rewrite the ending. You're allowed to outgrow the version of you that kept choosing pain and calling it passion. You're allowed to let go, even if they never say sorry, especially if they never say sorry. That's how you know they never deserved the apology you kept waiting to give them. The day you realize peace is more important than presence, that's the day your healing begins. Because love should never be earned through chaos. It should never feel like a test you're failing. Real love feels safe. It feels calm. It feels like being seen in your mess and still being chosen. And that starts with how you treat yourself. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Stop replaying the hurt and start rehearsing your healing. Speak life into your own spirit. Remind yourself that you survived things that were meant to destroy you. Remind yourself that your pain didn't break you, it built you. Every scar is a reminder that you walked through fire and came out stronger. You are not someone who is hard to love. You are someone who loves deeply, who shows up fully, who asks for emotional honesty, and in a world addicted to avoidance and ego that is rare, don't dim that light. Don't apologize for wanting depth, for wanting connection, for wanting to be chosen in the same way you choose others. That's not neediness, that's alignment, that's emotional maturity. And anyone who tries to make you feel guilty for that is not your person. You're not too sensitive, you're just tuned in, you're not too much, you just won't settle for surface level anymore. That's growth, that's evolution, and growth will always be misunderstood by people who are still comfortable in cycles. Let them stay there, you're not going back. The ones who truly see you won't just admire your strength, they'll honor your softness. They won't take your kindness for granted. They won't make you feel like you have to earn their effort. And you won't have to chase clarity, because real love brings peace, not confusion. You don't heal by trying to understand why they hurt you. You heal by understanding why you stayed. You heal by understanding the parts of you that thought love had to come with pain. That thought validation had to be earned. That thought proving your worth would finally get you chosen. Healing starts the moment you realize you were always enough. You just gave the best parts of you to people who didn't know how to hold them. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility now, because once you know your worth, everything changes. You don't just look for love. You look for alignment. You don't just want chemistry. You want compatibility. You don't just want to be wanted, you want to be valued, seen, chosen, and not when it's convenient, not when they're lonely, not as a backup plan, but because they see your heart and want to protect it. Because they see your soul and feel safe in it. Stop checking their page. Stop hoping they'll change. Stop waiting for the closure that will never come. Some doors were never meant to reopen. Some chapters were only meant to teach you what not to accept. Some people were only meant to show you the difference between love and attachment. And now that you know, now that you've tasted what doesn't feel right, you get to choose differently. You get to rewrite the pattern. You get to become the version of yourself that doesn't settle, that doesn't chase, that doesn't beg, that doesn't abandon herself for love, that doesn't even know what love is. You are not here to fix broken people. You are not here to prove your worth through overextending. You are not here to be a savior, a second choice, or a secret. You are here to love and be loved, fully, freely, authentically, and if someone can't meet you there, it's not your job to lower your standards. It's their job to rise. You will be too much for some, too deep, too honest, too intense, too emotionally aware, and that's okay. Let them go find someone who matches their avoidance. You are not for everyone, but you are everything to the right one. And until that right one arrives, you are your own peace, your own power, your own home. You are not waiting to be completed. You are not waiting to be rescued. You are building a life so full, so beautiful, so grounded in your own truth, that love becomes the bonus, not the bandage. You are allowed to rest, to pause, to take time to heal. You don't need to rush into your next chapter, because the next version of you isn't built through distraction. She's built through intention, through boundaries, through choosing yourself every single day, even when it's hard. Don't trade your healing for temporary comfort. Don't trade your progress for old patterns. Don't go back just because you're lonely. Go forward because you're ready, ready for love that feels safe, ready for connection that feels clear, ready for a life that reflects your highest self, not your wounded one. Because when you live in your truth, when you love yourself fully, when you raise your standards and protect your peace, everything shifts. You stop repeating. You start receiving, and what finds you in that space. It doesn't test your worth, it reflects it. So don't chase love. Attract it by becoming it, by embodying the very thing you seek, because the love you desire will never ask you to betray yourself. It will feel like coming home. Like ease, like peace, like finally being met after a lifetime of reaching, and you'll know, not because it feels like fireworks, but because it feels like safety.